7:05. Yeah. Oh, microphone's on.
Sorry.
Got mine.
7:05.
I'll bring this out so I can see the timer.
It's on purpose, you know.
Yeah, can't see the time otherwise. I could run to midnight. Let's say the Pledge of Allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Excuse me.
First order of business is to accept the minutes from the previous meeting.
Well, actually, we have more than that.
Oh, we do. Okay. You mean the non-publics? You mean the non-publics?
Well, no,
No, we just
I
have a
never
lot of
presented the retreat minutes, which are 5-7 and 5-8, those notes. And I sent those to you.
Yep.
And last month's public meeting, regular LBOT meeting. And then we had a special meeting on 5/29 and another special meeting on June 5th.
Right.
So you've got all of those.
Yep. We do.
Oh, the 5th was public and non-public both.
Right, and so was the 29th.
Yeah.
The 29th was both.
So which one would you like to start with?
Well, I don't know. Why don't we just do it in calendar order? So
Okay.
the retreat notes, and then, which is the 7th and 8th of May. And
I had a question or a remark about letter F in the retreat minutes.
bylaws?
Yeah.
Bylaws or retreat notes? They're two different things.
No, it says F
on
is
the-
bylaws.
Bylaws.
Oh, I'm sorry. I'm not
And
looking
the
at
way I
that.
read it, it said no motion was made.
No motions were suggested for bylaws changes. The suggestion, okay. And then later on, that changed.
Right? I just was trying to
And
remember.
what happened is I took these notes in the order that they all happened.
Okay.
And the first thing that we said was,
No
we're not going to
changes.
do anything. And then later on,
Well, it was at the board meeting we made the change.
right, and we
It
did.
was at the board
Okay.
meeting.
Right.
That's what I
we made the
thought there was
change.
some. I
Right.
just wanted to make sure.
Yeah.
So,
And that was passed, and that's on the minutes.
yeah, it's because we haven't caught up to all these. We did a lot. So, other than that, and then we got some really terrific, along with the retreat, we got some really good information, especially from Yvette, things that are going to be very useful for the trustee manual that we're putting together. And we also have a and we got a timeline,
Yeah, we got many.
many things, and
I don't think we need to list them all.
no, and they are, and several of them will be useful.
Yeah.
So the first thing is the notes.
Anybody have any comments about the notes they want to change, or they were just notes, they weren't intended to be full-bodied, if you will?
I had no issues with any of the minutes.
Well, we're just on
Yeah, the
the,
ones for the 5th I was
Retreat.
going to abstain on because there was a meeting I missed most of.
Okay.
okay, well, let's just start with the
Yeah, okay, so the 7th and
The
8th.
notes.
Yeah,
do I have a motion to pass the notes that we took at the retreat?
Make the motion.
Second, I'll second.
Laura. Okay, so Rick, Laura, and vote?
Oh, yes, all in favor. I always forget to vote.
Need a little cheat sheet.
I know, I've got to ask for that.
Okay. Next, as far as in order of occurrence, is the May 15th Albot meeting minutes, the regular meeting minutes on the 15th.
I had a comment on the first page under new business, under device lending policy.
Yep.
The first sentence, second line, it says, "and an agreement form for patrons to sign the trustees."
Huh.
It didn't make any sense to me.
That's because it is an error that I
Okay.
didn't get. It's along with guidelines and an agreement form for patrons to sign, period.
Ah, that makes more sense.
And to the trustees should be crossed out.
Okay.
Or
I
removed.
was wondering how they got there.
I have no idea.
Okay, and then on, page 2,
Yeah?
under circulation,
Yeah?
it says, "A member of the staff is going to be present at the book repair workshop hosted by Merrimack. She will return with knowledge of how to increase usage of our current resources."
Usage of our current resources, yes.
Okay, it felt like two different subjects to me, and I wasn't sure.
I'm sorry,
I
can you
found
read
it a little
Can
confusing.
you read it again? Because I can clarify that.
Okay, it says, "A member of the staff is going to be present at the book repair workshop hosted by Merrimack. She will return with knowledge of how to increase usage of our current resources."
Okay, so we had two staff go to a book repair workshop. So
That's
the
later on.
resources are the materials, books that get, ripped, or, with kids' books, sometimes the pages fall out and it's mending. So how to have, I don't know where that's, sorry.
I don't
Increase
interpret it that
usage
way, I guess, when
Of
I
our
read
current
that.
resources, yeah.
How to increase
wanna write
usage
that?
of our current resources.
I don't know, it made sense to me, so.
How
In other words, what we could.
to extend the life of our books
That-
if,
that-
if
that
they need
makes more
mending.
sense. Yeah, something like,
Same thing.
because using resources, I think of something that you're going to be using, I just think of it differently, but.
Okay.
Okay, so that's a little clearer to me.
And then down at the bottom, if you look, the same page, the next to the last bullet, Emily attended the book repair workshop previously mentioned. So those are the two people, the two staff members that attended.
Okay. And then on page 3, under technical services, you have a typo, you have 2 Ks.
Oh, how unusual. Where is it now? Technical service?
Under technical services, the third word, you have 2 Ks.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
I suppose that's all right. I guess that's it.
Someone's cell phone's going off and vibrating on the table.
What?
Someone's cell phone's going
That's
off and
mine.
vibrating on the table. Okay.
You might fix that up. Vibrator.
Probably picks it up in the mic.
Just want to make sure I'm off instead of vibrating.
Laying down on the floor.
Okay. Any other discussion on the minutes from May 15? No? Do I have a motion to accept?
I motion to accept the
Second?
Albot meeting minutes for May 15th.
second.
Okay, all in favor? Aye, aye, aye. I'm sorry. Okay.
And, let's see, so that's this one. And May 29th, there's public session meetings, and there's private session, non-public session.
Yeah. Well, they were held the same day, so.
Yeah.
I suppose
Oh,
it doesn't matter.
it was,
Both June 5th?
yeah.
No.
No,
No.
May 29th.
May-
Did you miss this one?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, you weren't there.
Oh, the May 29 ones.
Yeah,
Okay.
that's the one you two, yeah,
Super, super
that
busy.
Rick and Laura weren't there, but we did that.
Okay. Any discussion about that?
Well, let me,
The only thing I wondered was, I was comparing it to another set of meeting minutes, like just for how it was written, and I wondered if we needed to put something in that said, following discussion, we came out of non-public. It looked like we didn't know what we were doing. Like there was no notation of what happened before
You should
that.
mention the roll call vote.
It did, right before it.
wait, are we in public or non-public?
Public.
The non-public, or the public should mention the roll call
It
vote.
it does.
Return to public.
There was another section, though, it didn't have a lot of information, and maybe it's not supposed to be there.
That could be mine.
Okay, could be.
See, on the 29th,
That's what I wrote in my notes, but that
The,
doesn't mean that
um,
it's correct.
the bold print, the sentence, in accordance with RSA, so on, move to enter non-public, and Janice seconded. Then, and a roll call vote was approved. Then that space in between is where the non-public took place, and then the board returned to public session at 4:27.
So you don't have to put anything in there, even like
It's actually
'cause it's
in the
next.
non-public.
Okay, all right, sorry.
Any further discussion about that? No? I have a motion to accept.
I make a motion to accept.
Second?
You can't, you weren't there.
No, I'm asking,
Oh.
somebody
Oh,
else asking.
Sharon,
I'm sorry.
Okay,
I'm asking.
and vote,
All in favor?
so it's 302.
Oh, I wasn't there, I'm sorry, yes.
Yes, 302.
Okay.
You did
And then
vote yes.
June
I
5th
did.
was a special session, a special meeting, and I wasn't there.
Which one are you looking at, the non-public or the public?
Public first,
Okay.
then non-public. And that's, let's see.
Public, all right. Here to edit. There you go.
Any discussion about that? June 5th, public, is the one we're on. No? Do I have a motion to accept then?
I was late, so I'm going to abstain.
Okay,
One of you guys.
I'll motion to accept the minutes from June 5th, public meeting
looking at
minutes.
the public, yes.
I'll second.
Okay, all in favor?
Oh, no. So it's 302.
Mhm.
Okay.
And then our non-public. Any discussion about that?
I have
This is
a,
June 5th, I'm sorry.
I have a
I'm
question.
sorry.
Now, we did the May 29th. I thought the vote was for both the public and the non-public.
Yeah, we did. Yeah, you could do it either way. It doesn't make a difference. But
So this way, we only took one vote, and for this, for June 5th, we're going to take two votes. Okay?
Oh, okay,
could have done it as one.
okay.
Okay.
Well, since we already started it this
Yeah.
way, we'll
Right.
finish it this
Doesn't
way.
matter.
Sorry.
Okay.
Any discussion about the minutes for June 5th, non-public session? Okay, do I have a motion to accept?
There-
I'm
You
sorry?
should say, I'm missing, two. T-O.
Library presented the,
To the
Two.
quorum.
Two.
presented to the quorum of the board, positions,
Yes, and this is non-public,
right,
so don't read it out loud.
no,
So you want the word "to" right there,
That's all I'm saying.
okay.
okay?
Anything else? No? Do I have a motion to accept?
I make a motion to accept the non-public minutes from June 5th.
Okay, second? Somebody
Second.
Okay, all in favor? All righty.
I'm abstaining.
Me too.
Do you want me to send you? Okay.
I'll take care of it.
Are you gonna destroy, just here's a printout of the non-public if you're gonna destroy them?
Yeah.
Sure.
And then you'll send it, you'll give it to me, because I'll file it.
Yeah.
That's it. This is the public meeting.
Well, Janet actually sent it to you, because this is,
Whenever
I
it's
wasn't
finished.
there.
No, but whenever it's.
It's fixed, yes, I'll send it to you.
Okay?
Yep.
Are we settled on that? All right, committee updates, Friends of the Library, Rick?
I missed their annual meeting. Everybody, I
Okay,
know, shame on me.
I did as
By the time I
well.
got home from work, I missed it.
I was there.
Well, Yvette, please, do tell.
It was very well attended. This was the
Oh,
annual
nice.
meeting that was right before the Friends of the Library members only presale on Friday of the book sale. And it lasted, I think 20 minutes,
Mhm.
covered a lot of ground. They put out a call for people to step up to be officers on the board in the open positions. They've already heard from a couple people over that weekend
Great.
who said, I want to talk to you about that. This is, to Claire, who's the president.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's great,
Wonderful,
great meeting.
wonderful. Okay. Is that everything?
That's everything.
Okay. The Development Fund actually will be meeting, it's at the bottom of your agenda, on the 25th. 6th. I said the 25th. Oh, I'm sorry, I'm reading the wrong line. The 26th. And the Building Development and Marketing Committee is on hiatus. The Town Center Committee is Karen.
Yeah, I had got everything out but that. Well, we met about a week ago, and I don't think I have it. Just a second. Well, yeah, we met about a week ago, and the transportation grant for sidewalks on Woodbury Street and the Sauhegan River Trail grant have now been approved by the town council to be combined into one, because the Sauhegan River Trail turned out to cost quite a bit more than originally was planned. So the town council gave the town center committee permission to use the Woodbury Street sidewalk money to finish the Sauhegan Trail. And this fall, the town center committee and the Department of Public Works will make up a new application for a new grant for the sidewalks. Evidently, they are widening the Everett Turnpike to go to 3 lanes because it's been such a traffic horror. That's going to be in 2020. And then, at the same time, they're going to be doing Route 3 for that bridge over Babusick Brook right by the MYA, where there's no place for anybody to go and it's really dangerous.
Yeah.
So that's going to be repaired as well. And that crossroads where Wire Road and Route 3 and everything, that is going to be reconfigured in some way. So everything is happening right around between 2020 and 2022, something like that.
Mm-hmm.
And so we were discussing that. Also, the other thing that the Town Center Committee discussed was, I don't know if you'd noticed the granite steps that go up to Abbey Griffin Park from Route 3, so you can just walk up there. The Department of Public Works is going to maintain that, mow the grass and do everything, clear out the brush. But the Town Center Committee is going to have a little celebration along with the Rotary, who actually made those steps happen in appreciation, and that's going to be sometime on a Thursday during a regular Rotary meeting out there to kind of open the steps. So that's Town Center.
Okay, thank you. Turkey Shoot Committee is on hiatus, but will soon be convening to plan next year's Turkey Shoot, held the week or so before Thanksgiving. Let's move on to our committees. Personnel Committee, Karen.
All right. Well, Rick and I met just because we had some our job was to create a trustee manual, and we met about that, and also at some point to develop a procedure for evaluations for the 360 procedure at some point.
Mm-hmm.
And those are not going to be done until the fall. But the manual contents, we went over the suggested ones, the draft, and we had some detail questions about how whether we were going to include certain things. So I think when we get, I am putting things together because a lot of the items that were supposed to be in this manual we already have. They just are not organized and put together with a table of contents and so on. So I'm gonna pull everything together, which I was not able to do yet, that we have.
Mm-hmm.
And then I will come back with questions, or I'll meet with you, or I don't know, I'll meet with you, I'm not sure, or we'll meet, and we'll get the details. But as far as an overview is concerned,
It's in
we
process.
have a lot of this material already, and
Okay,
we'll
good.
just put it together, and there's some other things that pop up as we go along.
Okay.
Anything
Any
else?
questions or about that?
Actually, the other thing we talked about doing, which I wanted to ask you about, do you have, like anything in writing or anything already that talks about how the other libraries do their director's reviews?
Oh, yeah, I have it.
I figure you would have already had that.
Mhm.
So, would you be able to get that to Karen and I?
Mhm.
Okay, perfect.
Okay. The Building Committee, Janet? Anything to say there?
With the building committee, we're setting up a meeting, Janice and I are gonna set up a meeting just so she and I are on the same page for next month. And then our meeting is August
8th at 4 p.m.
August
Talk about
8th.
whether the storm-
I'm sorry, when did you say?
August 8th?
Oh,
Am I in this meeting?
No, this is just she and I.
Oh, wait.
Oh, wait,
No, the
August-
date I'm
August-
giving is
yeah,
the
August-
quarterly meeting is August
it's August
8th
8th.
with you all. We made that at the meeting,
Yep.
which doesn't mean.
August 8th.
We can
August
change it.
8th at 4 o'clock.
And who are you meeting with?
On August 8th,
Yeah.
it would be
Yvette, Jared,
Joanne, and Jared.
Joanne.
Oh, okay. Yep.
Okay.
How'd the building fare against the storm?
Well, the email, Yvette sent an
She
email.
sent an
and said
emael.
Yeah.
it was fine.
Hour, so.
Oh, she sent an email.
She
that
sent an
said-
email
It's in my
saying it was
calendar.
good. It was a great email. I was so happy.
The
I
heading
look forward
said,
to reading it.
all okay.
I look forward to reading it when I have.
Yes.
Oh, it was a short
Get it
storm, at
back
least at
on.
my house, it was a short storm.
It was short, but it was windy.
Yeah.
Boy, serious wind.
Actually, well, but I don't want to digress. Okay, anything else on the building committee? Oh, okay. Investment. We took the controls questions that were submitted by the town auditor to you, Yvette, and we looked at that in relation to the guidelines for management of library funds, the document we said we would wait to vote on because pending review of this. We did not see anything that was contradictory to the guidelines, and so, but we did want to add one item to the guidelines under the treasurer.
Yeah.
And everyone knows what I'm speaking of, our document on the guidelines for management of library funds that we have talked about before. Okay. And under treasurer, we had basically responsibilities of the treasurer. We wanted to add one item which says, the treasurer clears all bank statements and reconciles all transactions in QuickBooks. Because that's a function that the treasurer is performing. So that just, I think, kind of rounds out what we've already listed there under that title. Do you want, I wrote it right there. So, is there any discussion about the guidelines? Does anybody, I'd like to vote on them. We've had discussions about them, we've reviewed them, we've edited them. I'd like to add this one last item, and I think we're all set with them, unless anybody has anything else they want to add. No?
No.
Okay. So, I'd like to put forth a motion that we accept the guidelines with the addition of these,
Wait 1 second.
okay. Let the fingers catch up with the voice.
And I assume you're good with that change.
I am good with that change.
Okay. Moved. Now, what was it?
Where are you?
You would start the motion again.
Oh, so, okay. I'd like to put forth the motion that we accept the guidelines with the addition of the statement that I just made about the treasurer's responsibility, which is the treasurer clears all bank statements and records all transactions in QuickBooks. Is there any discussion about any of this at the moment? We've been over this quite a bit.
I'll second the motion.
Okay. All in favor? Okay. They pass. Okay. I think that takes care of the committees. Anything else on any of the committees anyone would like to bring up? No? All right. Do we have any new business to bring forth at this point? No? Okay. Then let's move on to the treasurer's report. What?
Well, I never know if it's new business or, so, because the next thing I'm gonna talk, so I'm like, well, do I put it there?
Well, it will be in your new, that's all right.
That's
Just sort
why
of blend it together.
That's
It's
why I was
fine.
like, I don't know.
So we'll move on to the treasurer's report with potential new business. How's that?
I sent out 5 handouts. One was a balance sheet, which is what the first one we're going to go over.
That's not it.
It has the fines and the special, and then the other accounts on it.
Let's see this.
Is that-
Yep, I think so. Thought I had these in order, but it's clearly not enough. Okay, go ahead.
Okay. Well, the opening balance for beginning balance for fines for the month of May was $17,918.70. And we closed May with $17,424.54.
Could you say those,
Which one are you looking at?
The balance sheet?
Oh, balance sheet.
would you say those two amounts again?
Sure. $17,918.70.
Yeah,
$17,424.54.
Thought I stapled it to this. I remember looking at it.
It's just-
Yeah.
all right.
And then our special began the month of May with 11,615.42. And we closed the month with 10,176.34. Any questions? Laura?
No, I don't have any questions.
Okay. Okay, Rick?
It's column split.
Split is where you define the account that it goes into, and when it says split, it means that that transaction has 2 or more accounts that they're going into.
Okay, I'm with you. Okay.
Set. The other papers just show more of the detail, which is what you asked for in terms of the profit and loss for each of the accounts, and then the profit and loss per month, and I only did, like I said, it's gonna be a moving window, so I went back to March. I did March, April, and May, so you could see spending at least the last 3 months. Questions, comments? Okay. I also gave out a copy of the budget that we had approved that will go into effect. No, I just handed it out, so it might be on the bottom of
this
it.
one.
July 1. That's just an FYI for everybody. With our accounts, come the beginning of July 1, one of the guidelines, actually, that Jen and I had talked about for last year, but we wrote it down for this year, was to start each of our bank accounts at $10,000. I'd like to, whether it's beef up or take out, in terms of our DCU fines account and special account, make them $10,000 again.
And move the others' money.
Right, if
or
there's
transfer
extra money,
one
put
way
it
or
into
the other.
savings. If it needs more money, then take it out of savings.
Okay.
Mhm.
We probably want to make a motion to do that.
So,
Are you making the motion? or-
Hold on, she has a different question.
but this one says 13.
I know, that this has nothing to do with what the bank account is.
Oh, okay. All right, I understand.
So this is another topic.
This is a different topic.
Yes.
Yeah. This is the Library Board of Trustees budget.
That's what that is.
That's what this
Fine,
is,
Special.
Right,
with the fines and the special accounts, yes.
right. next topic is to move the current checking accounts of fines and special come July 1 to the $10,000.
So that's two different votes.
No, we don't have to vote on that. We already
No,
did.
this is already
voted on this.
approved.
Yes, we already voted on this.
So we're putting this
Yep,
aside.
that's just so
Trust-
everybody has
We're
it.
done, right.
Oh, okay, there's no
Right.
change.
No.
No
Right,
change.
Okay.
And so the next topic is that as of July 1st, you would like to begin the year,
Correct.
the
With 10
fiscal year, with our checking accounts showing $10,000 for specials and $10,000 for fines,
Correct.
and then working from that.
Correct.
Yes.
And any extra would go into savings.
Correct.
Or vice versa.
Or vice
if we're
versa.
under.
Or savings would bring it up to
Up to-
Right, so
10,000.
there's 10,000.
Okay,
Okay.
now, all right, and that's a motion. Do you want to make?
It is a motion I'd like to make.
Okay.
I will second that motion.
Oh, wait,
You just said
I
it all.
haven't, but I haven't typed it yet. I just wanted to make sure I understood what you
You
were saying.
understand correctly.
Let's give her a second to type it correctly.
Okay, okay.
That's done.
Hmm?
Forget the vote.
I'm waiting for her to type, then I'm going to vote.
Yes,
Just remind me.
One thing,
going.
I know, thank you. One thing at a time.
10,000.
Just want to give her a minute to catch
Yeah,
up.
yeah, I will. Okay.
Okay. So we have our two.
Seconded.
Okay. All in favor? Aye, aye. Okay. Motion passes. Anything else for the treasurer's report?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Yes.
I have two more things. One, I've spoken with a bunch of the GMILK's libraries, and they each do non-resident fees differently.
Yes.
Some
We've
of them,
talked about this on the board level.
okay. Because some of them put it in fines, and which is where we have it, and some of them have it in special. And personally, I don't know why one is. I don't know why one is.
It's because it generates income.
True. So is that why it's in fines? Okay.
So what is this non-resident what? Fees?
Non-resident fee, it's the card for non.
Yeah.
If you live in
non-residents.
Nashua, you're not part of the consortium. So you need, and you want to use Merrimack's library, you need to get a non-resident, I'm not a resident of Merrimack, I need to get a card and I need to pay $100.
But if you're part of the consortium, you don't have to pay anything.
If I live in Bedford, I can use my Bedford card here.
Gotcha.
My comment for bringing it up was just that some people put it in fines, and some libraries have it in fines, and some libraries have it in special. And I didn't know if there was,
It generates income.
so you put it, so that's
fines.
your rationale, okay.
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 Makes sense.
Okay, and then just FYI for the board, last month after our meeting, I submitted the formal request to Chris Christensen, the chair of the trustees of the trust fund, for our,
90%.
right,
Yeah.
for the 90% of our trust fund allocation. And last week when I talked with Yvette, it was in the safe, so we received it.
Nice.
And can you tell us how that money would be expended?
I can tell you in terms of percentages.
That's fine.
Like 10% is supposed to go to the children's room, 30% is sustainment of the library, 30% is to support the library, and then 30% was,
Adult books.
thank you, I was like, books.
Oh
So
my
that's
goodness.
actually one fund, and then the other fund, was 100% books. books of
Yes.
fiction.
Good fiction.
Right, right.
Good
Yeah, that's what it
fiction.
says, good fiction.
It's not
So-
bestseller necessarily fiction.
Well, it's just good.
Yeah.
Oh, what happened? You didn't crash, did you?
I don't think so. I hope not.
Well, it's all recorded. You just have
Yes.
to watch the meeting.
But why did it do that?
Don't put her through a painful process. Do you need a minute to recuperate?
Kidding.
I'm going to find out in a second. Nope, it's fine.
You're good,
Okay, save it.
okay.
Save it
Hit
right now.
save. Okay,
I think
what
it
about
is
the goals?
saved.
The goals?
You-
Oh, so one of my goals forgot about that. By this meeting was to move Laura onto all the signatory paperwork. And at least it's all been submitted and DCU should be done, and I have not heard back, nor have they said anything about fidelity, but that got sent out right after our retreat, so it's been about 6 weeks, so,
You would think it would be simple.
yeah.
It wasn't
Well,
simple.
DCU changed all their paperwork, so had we gone in even just a week before, it would have been simple, but by the time everybody came back, or she came
Yeah,
back
it
and we
was-
went, they had changed, like, even the guy working with us was like, this is the first time I've done these.
Oh,
So-
great.
It was very worried. Yeah. And any old names were all removed from
Yeah,
the
we-
accounts.
Right, you were removed, and Jen got removed.
All old names were removed,
She was still on it.
yeah. So that's all cleaned up. And then your second goal, the budget,
Oh, you're right.
was to have the
That's right.
budget
Was to have
implemented by
budgets.
July 1, and so those goals for the treasurer were met.
Keeping me on task.
Okay, very good. Operating budget.
Yeah.
We have we haven't really historically been doing too much with that, but Janet, did you want to go over anything on the operating budget? Or Yvette?
We're encumbering money.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's, now we're June, this is old.
Yeah. I was gonna say, yeah, it doesn't, this is May, this is like history now. Okay.
Would you know some of these, any of the dollar amounts, if,
I printed off to today, so
oh,
I didn't actually make any copies. But I can pass this around, and if you want to compare where we actually are now
Ah.
in terms of encumbrances, but we're just on target, June. And by encumbrances, I mean the list that you went over
Right.
last month,
Mhm.
the year-end expenditures.
Right, yeah.
That's what we were focusing on.
Okay. I won't take a lot of time doing this. Okay, anything else about the operating budget? We'll move on. There's not much we can take right at the moment. Okay. We don't have any year-end expenditures update or anything?
No,
No,
it's
right,
everything.
it's all been done.
Everything you approved.
Yeah, it's
we've
all-
encumbered everything.
Okay.
Yep.
And then now we're ready for the director's report.
well, actually,
Oh, I'm sorry.
you were, on one of the expenditures, you, going to see if you could get a quote for landscaping?
Yeah, I still have meetings coming,
Okay.
so I don't have a quote yet.
Okay, just curious. Busy, so I wasn't sure you'd even get.
I have a meeting next week. Hopefully two, but so far one.
Okay, we are at the director's report.
So, you can tell me what you might have a question about, but for the, to bring into the public, we received 3 donations, which are listed at the top, which you need to vote to accept. $20 from Marianne Dumont for Children's Summer Reading Prizes. $20 from Dorothy Hood for programs. For those two, it was just an instance of patrons coming in, getting into a conversation, because we were advertising summer reading is coming, and they're asking questions about programming and how is it funded, and I want to contribute.
Oh, nice.
So it's really
Nice.
just patrons who really appreciate what we're doing and want to help out a little bit.
That's great.
So it's
Yeah.
very, very nice. So that's Marianne Dumont for children's summer reading prizes and Dorothy Hood for programs.
But we appreciate that.
We
Thank
sure
you.
We do.
So you can vote maybe those two first because they're different.
Okay.
I move that we accept the donations from Marianne Dumont and Dorothy Hood for summer reading.
I second. All in favor? Aye.
Okay.
We're silent voters.
And then, I'm sorry, the other one, I wasn't sure if you needed to accept it, so I just thought, put it on just in case.
Mm-hmm.
But this was, you had discussed at a previous meeting, sharing the cost for an ad in the Merrimack at a Glance magazine that's put out by the Chamber, published by McLean Communications. And so the Friends are paying for half of it. They're not, I mean, they're it's a split cost, and
We'll be on the safe side,
sure.
we'll vote on it.
not sure if it's a
Yeah.
donation, but.
With that one, did Danielle talk to you? Because when they cut the check for too much.
Yeah,
but
she
they-
did.
they-
She talked to me and she,
It's already squared off?
It's taken care of.
Because I guess they
I have
cut
a
the check
copy of the
directly
check
to
if you
the
need.
McLean
Okay.
group.
Well, I motion we accept the donation from the Friends for the library ad with McLean Communications.
second.
Okay. All in
Not fine.
favor? Okay.
And that magazine should be coming out in July.
Nice.
Oh, yes.
It's
yes.
being finalized
Yes,
now.
okay. You have copies at the library of that,
We
don't
will,
you?
we'll have, yes.
Yeah,
we
I
will.
remember seeing them there in the past.
Mhm.
Okay.
Just another maybe addition to this, the book sale proceeds, the total was $2,894.60. You guys, when you counted, you were $20 over?
Oh.
So
Yikes.
I recounted with one of the staff a couple times. But,
Again?
yes, 2,900, sorry.
Oh, 8.
2,894.60. And then what happens with the June book sale is it's split 50-50 with the board, trustees and friends. So your section is 1,447.30. I had asked Janet to sign a check for $965.05 because of that 1447.30 that went to the Friends, 482.25 were checks made out straight to the Friends, so they needed their balance. So it's just a matter of having to divide. I have it written down if you need to see
No,
it. It's
no,
a lot
Don't worry
easier
about
if you
it.
just see it.
It's all
I won't
squared.
worry
It's
about
all
it.
fine.
She got their, our
Lots and
half,
lots of math.
we got our half, it's all good.
It's all
And where
good.
does it go? Where do you put it? What account does it go
Special.
to? Special.
If you want to show her, feel better about it.
Oh,
$20.
okay. The
Any-
visuals are always good.
Yeah, I figured.
Can't
So.
believe that.
It was sticky.
It was lots of fun math, I know, that day. And then,
Yeah, I just,
any questions about the report?
Nope.
oh, one thing I wanted to say was, that summary
Yeah.
that you gave to the
Yep.
town council,
Mhm.
I thought that was wonderful.
Oh,
I
thanks.
really did.
That's really everything. I just opened up the strategic
Oh.
plan and detailed in a bulleted list what we've been doing.
I thought that
So-
was very good as
It
well.
Thanks.
was
Yeah.
Okay.
great.
I have it right here. It was nice and succinct and,
Yes, very nicely done. And
Yeah.
everything that we've done for a year
Yeah.
is on here. I'm going, wow, we're doing a lot.
that would be a good thing to put on an evaluation. Because in terms of succinctness, yeah, review.
It was really good.
Yeah.
I can be very long-winded if you like.
I know, no, that's okay.
The other thing that I think I can just mention, we did receive a complaint. It was through the town website, so I gave you a copy of that.
Yes.
I think technically, once something goes through our email, it's subject to public discussion, in public record. But I think just to protect the person's privacy who's making, we just shouldn't mention names. But, it really points back to the policies that we have for our meeting rooms, which you've approved, of course. They're posted on the website. The Lowell room in particular, same with the Clump room, but, the Lowell room is supposed to be a quiet reading area or a quiet area of the library, open to the public. But then when a library committee, group, library business, if we need it for business, then we also have the right to reserve it, the same as a group in town that has an affiliation with the town. A resident can also reserve it for their meeting. We hold cribbage there, we hold programs there. And the book sale, we do take up a really good portion of the building during a book sale, but that's a program, and it's a very necessary thing that we do. It's definitely part of our job as librarians. We have to manage the collection from selecting material and purchasing it, processing it, shelving it, checking these items in and out. But then once an item is no longer useful, I'm thinking of the books about Pluto as a planet, for example. We need to discard these books somehow,
Yes.
And especially nonfiction. If the facts are wrong, it's not useful, So, if someone is going to complain that they're displaced from, let's say, their favorite spot in the library, I'm sorry, but
So can you just capsulize what the complaint was?
the complaint was,
What?
was not having use of certain parts of the library because of the book sale. And, suggesting that the library had to raise funds in support of the budget because the town wasn't supporting us, and the town is totally supporting us in our budget process, which we know. But, I would just encourage our patrons to share the space. That's kind of the point of a library, is it's shared material, shared space. And
we hold a book sale 3 times a year.
we hold a book sale 3 times a year, and people really enjoy coming to the book sale. I think they appreciate it. It's a lot of work to put on, but it's also expanded a lot. And that's why we take over different parts of the library. We've gotten so many donations of, DVDs and music, games, for example, that we've had to take over the teen area on the main floor. We did have someone complain to the fire department, which is probably connected to this, where the fire officer came and was inspecting the setup right before we did the book sale, and saw no problems with safety or the space or how we had tables in the building, in the hallway on the lower area. He saw absolutely no problems at all. And I reassured him that, no, this is part of my job. This is part of how we manage the collection. But, if he had any suggestions for us, of course, we're going to take them. But, right now we've got the Lowell room as a quiet study space for teens during finals week. It's Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. Tomorrow's the last day. We're going to reserve the room for our teens between 12 and 6. We're also reserving the Henderson area, which is that other part of the building where the teen books are, as kind of a relaxing, slightly noisier space for the teens. Today we had a lot of teenagers come to use the space, both the quiet space to study alone, and there was a study group outside of my office, which was wonderful. So, it's a shared space. We want to make sure everyone gets use of the library, and for something like finals week, we're really excited to be able to offer study space. And most of I would say, with the exception of one person complaining that they were displaced, for the teen area, or for the Lowell room during teen study space, all of the other adults that we've kind of said, hey, I'm going to ask you to move in 5 minutes because we have this program going on. They're like, oh, I'm so glad you're supporting our students. So, thank you for your support, Town of Merrimack. But
Very good.
that's
Emily was a very good bouncer. Emily sits right in the hall.
we have the children's staff are rotating, sitting in the hallway at the entrance.
She's on the perch.
Yeah.
It's perfect.
Yeah, we have lots of meetings about the logistics of this, and we write scripts so that we can really explain what we're planning and in a very positive way. And there's other places to sit,
Yeah,
in the library
yeah.
that are, we have, study carrels in the adult services area that are kind of off the beaten path, and there are
Okay,
places.
very good, thank you.
One
Yeah.
comment about this complaint, though, I kind of see this as a positive thing, because we talked about in the past trying to compile the list of the things the library can't provide.
Mhm.
And this is a
Mhm.
perfect example of, we don't have space for small groups of people, especially when the book sale's going on. So, this is a perfect example of what we've been talking about.
Yeah, so that's a great transition, Rick, to my next comment.
Set you up.
All right, man. So just, I don't see that I wrote a lot of detail, or I wrote it at all on this, but I am in conversation with a space planner. We discussed this, it was on the year-end expenditures.
I think it's a great idea.
Yeah, so that's something that, this company is going to be addressing over the summer. The trustees, you will be presented with several plans, probably in September. You will also have an opportunity to provide feedback on these plans. But what's going to happen is the space planner is going to come in, talk to me, talk to the staff, talk about workflow and workspace, and the kind of notes that we've been taking for a while about, what we can or can't do in the building. And when it becomes a situation of either or, we can run a book sale in this room, or, you can sit here. I mean, it's an either or situation with a lot of our space. So that's going to be compiled. They are going to draw up a couple of floor plans with the existing building, seeing can we fit everything in, and what are the things we can't fit in, and how do we totally rearrange everything in the building, each floor, the mechanical room, periodical storage room, all of the staff areas, offices. It touches every single piece of this building. And then you will be presented with a plan.
Will
Or
she
several
speak with-
plans, several
Will she
options.
speak with patrons at all, or just the staff?
Right now, I'm just trying to schedule the first meeting.
Okay.
I did,
Just curious if that was part of a process.
yeah, a couple of, yes, but not large groups.
Mhm.
It's really kind of smaller groups of people,
Mhm.
yeah. But I had one meeting with her, just an initial consultation, and she presented several proposals to me, back and forth a little bit, and the time's right. The library is very busy during the summer, so it's a really good time to look at the space.
Will this also look at acoustics? Because it can get a
That's-
little noisy in
Yeah,
the room.
I mean, that's part of the discussion when they're interviewing each staff person and the department. That's an opportunity for them to also say things that I've already said with her. Where is, this is an open floor plan. The main floor is an open floor plan. The children's room even is an open floor plan, even though it's one department. We still have a concern, Emily has a concern that there's no study table or quieter study area down there for people who are either working with a student or want
Right.
to have some quiet time.
Right.
So, yeah, she's going to just kind of be an objective person, very trained. This is a company, they've been doing this for, 30
Yeah.
years.
It would be nice to see if acoustics could be dressed. I don't know if it's by the type of ceiling you have or by the spacing, or I don't know how that would play out, but.
I don't know. I mean, it's nice because, this is the professionals coming in with fresh set of eyes,
Right.
and we're the ones just complaining.
Right.
I mean, I don't want to say in a bad way complaining, but we're expressing what
identifying
is our
what your
short,
needs are.
what our shortcomings are, and what works, what doesn't work, and how can we make it work better.
Yeah,
So that's in process. I'll be filling you in a lot as we go,
okay, great.
but you will be seeing several plans in September.
And the banners. Can't forget the
Oh,
banners.
yes.
Oh,
Banners are
banners.
I was
wonderful.
gonna bring that up, because they make the building look so nice.
Yeah.
Do.
Better.
Just that little, because it's so
Yes.
plain on the two sides of
Yes.
the building, and they just,
looks
that
really
little
good.
bit of splash of color there just
Yeah.
really stands
It
out.
really-
and
it dresses
really
up
makes
the
building
entrance.
look good.
You know, at the conference, there was, I don't remember what presentation I went to, but they showed pictures of libraries that had banners on the outside, and I have to say, they really grabbed your attention. Might be a thought to do something permanent with a permanent banner outside.
Well, I thought I said this before, but they are permanent.
Oh, they are, because
They
it says
are
125th
Yes, the
anniversary.
middle one says that. The middle one is going to be switched out.
Oh,
Oh, yes. Oh,
Okay.
this is very exciting. Because it's
Okay.
going to be switched out, and then we can say National Library Week, or we can say September's Library Card Sign-Up Month,
nice, yeah.
or
whatever,
whatever.
yeah, very nice,
Really,
okay,
they
good.
really pop on the building.
Yeah, they do.
They
Yeah.
really do.
I
Makes
think
a
they're
big difference.
fantastic.
I mean, that's the color the building needed,
Yeah.
just to.
Yeah,
Well,
Brighten
I'll
it up.
tell everyone who was involved.
Yeah.
Design. I mean, Jen Jobin was,
Yes.
you know, really working on these a lot with Jen Green. Jared was amazing figuring out how to hang them.
Yes.
tracks from the brick box look.
No, I've gotten lots of feedback.
Oh, good,
It's like
Great.
very
Yeah,
nice.
thanks. I
Is
agree.
there any, I don't know, it just popped into my head, is there any way we could do this on the DW side?
It is on the
They are.
DW side. You have to
is.
drive
Did you
past
not
the
see
building.
them?
There are 6 banners.
Yes, there's
It's a set
6
of-
banners.
It's a set of 2.
Oh, good.
Three on each
Oh,
side.
good. Oh, good.
2 sets.
Because I was thinking, okay, maybe we only got 3, and the only ones I have seen so far, because I haven't been by, so, okay, great.
Oh, yeah.
So the
Perfect.
middle banner, if it's going to be replaced periodically, that'll be an expense. What did we take that out of, Janet?
Special.
Special. So that'll be like an
Oh.
ongoing expense during the year.
We'll get there one.
Yeah.
I mean, it
Once
could.
it comes out
It
of the
could.
advertising budget from the.
Yeah,
town budget.
because we still have that.
Mm-hmm,
Yeah, there's a couple of options.
okay.
You know, I think a banner might be $350. You know, because now the vents are
Yeah, it was a good idea.
that was
yeah.
an additional
Yeah,
cost, but a good one.
yeah,
And
well,
we tested it yesterday.
given the wind,
Mm-hmm.
yeah,
Yeah.
Yeah, that's great.
survived that.
Yeah.
okay.
Any questions about the building maintenance list?
Oh,
Project maintenance list.
Is it okay to say thank you to Jared for stepping up and helping?
Yes.
Oh, what is the status of the book drop? I saw it looked
Okay.
like the square was a little bit more defined.
Yes, so we are working with Public Works to create the pad, the concrete pad. DigSafe has come by, they've approved the site, and Public Works started
Who
There.
came by to approve it?
DigSafe. They had to check that they could dig.
Dig safe.
down.
Okay, okay.
And then Public Works, I was talking with Kyle, and he assured me that they can do this project, and he was very, very helpful. He's incredibly knowledgeable, and had a lot of really good suggestions, even though he's never seen a book drop. So I was like, well,
He's
you're
never
gonna...
seen a book
No,
drop?
well, of course, because he's a Merrimack. So I said, you're going to love it.
Sponsored life.
But so he's really fantastic, and so the concrete will be poured. I don't have an update of when, but the book drop has been ordered and it will be shipped August 2nd. So then it'll come probably the following week.
With the types of accessories you wanted?
With and again, thanks to Kyle, he suggested, because of the kind of truck it's coming in, and we would have had to pay an extra couple $100 to have a different kind of truck and have them take the item off of the truck, because we have a tight turn
Yeah.
to the library. He suggested just having it delivered to the highway garage. They have a forklift, so we saved a couple
Oh,
$100.
great.
They're
was
just going to hang on
wonderful.
to it until everything's ready and the pad is ready, and they'll help us
Now-
get it installed.
We had talked a little bit about the dumpster there.
Yes.
Is there any way to
I know you want to,
camouflage it?
Can we move it?
Jared's talked to the driver. I'll have him talk to him again, because now that the pad is like visual, then it's like, this is the way you're going to have to come in. So we can talk,
I just didn't know if we could tuck it behind the shed or do something
We
to,
could go up the hill.
I'll have him talk to the
way
driver.
to enhance the corner from that.
I know.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I will have him, I'll have them talk. Because I know what you want. We want the same thing.
Yeah, I know.
It has to be, the truck has to be able to
Has to be
clear
able to
what
do
it
it,
has to
yeah.
clear.
Yeah.
Usually when the dumpster is emptied, there are no staff cars, because that's usually the staff lot. So it should be okay to make a different swing to pick it up, but
Right.
I'll just let him
Okay,
discuss.
thank you.
Yeah, okay. Anything else on this list?
I don't think so. Anybody else? Okay. Not at the moment.
Okay.
Anything else on director's report? How many have registered for summer reading, do you know?
Oh, we are opening registration tomorrow.
Oh, tomorrow, I'm sorry. Okay.
And we have an app. We've been working with a company called Beanstack to,
You mentioned that last year.
yes, so now Beanstack has developed an app that you can download onto your phone, and you can track your reading
Oh,
through the
okay.
app.
Easier.
Makes it easier.
Okay.
For
The last-
adults and kids, or just kids?
What's that?
Adults and kids, or just kids?
Adults, kids, teens, there's all different levels.
So the last bench was installed outside.
Mhm.
Which one was that?
There are 2 benches by the banner.
Oh,
That's the
okay,
bench.
yeah, okay. I think they look nice. I see people using them,
I see people in them all the time.
yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So they've been well received.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, very nice. And Jared is taking on custodial duties until you're able to.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
And any nibbles in that direction?
Nope.
No? Hmm. Okay.
I don't know if you want to go over my goals on the bottom of page 2. I did include those. I had a note to include them. So I included them.
I wanted to ask about the Tableau.
Tableau.
You were purchasing that software so that we could gather statistics. When will that be up and
We
running?
have it.
Oh, you have it?
It's not populated yet,
Okay,
so, but we have it.
okay. So that we can start getting statistical reports.
Yes, you wanted them
We talk-
quarterly.
Yeah,
So you just had the first quarter in the old style, and then the next quarter you'll have it in the new
okay,
style.
very good.
Yep.
Okay.
I don't know if this is a question about your report or it's just for clarification for me. There's a 2-page document, Town Council Retreat, and the pictures of the leaderboard, was that just to go with that?
No, that's a separate
Separate,
topic.
okay.
Yep, we'll get to that.
No, thank you for putting the goals on us. It just sort of keeps us
Yes.
appraised of what you're doing,
Yeah, these are going to be
what
done
you're
soon.
working on.
so
That's all.
Yeah.
Huh?
Find other things to do.
No, I understand. No,
That's good.
well, it lets us know that things are moving. It's just a visual, that's all. That's what it does.
What?
So if you don't say that.
Oh, I have stuff. Oh, I have stuff. I know what I need to do. You don't have to tell me.
And the active shooter training is still,
That is delayed until the officer can schedule it, can reschedule it.
Is that going to impact the public at all?
No, we do this, our staff meetings are before we open 8:30,
yeah.
so that's, Yeah, it has to be rescheduled, but we can't do anything about that.
Okay, are you all,
Unless you have other questions, I'm done.
Visual in my head of library staff running around while patrons are doing their thing, diving behind desks. And
Out of the way.
move it.
I would love to run that kind of training.
I know, right?
I think everyone else would not love it. I don't know.
It would certainly get attention in the
I
library.
know, really.
anything else, comments or discussion on the director's report, anything anybody wants to ask? We're all good? Okay. Continuing business, July 4th parade.
Well, we're registered to go. Why do I have so many copies of this? We're registered to go. I've hired a band. This is the Blues Brothers Next Generation Tribute Band. We're sharing the cost with Parks and Recreation Department. And we're going to, I think there's a parade committee, right? Kind of, maybe?
I'll come anytime and help.
I think
I'm
Karen
it.
was the parade.
I was the parade committee.
Okay.
Would
That's
anyone
okay.
else like to participate on the July 4th parade
If you would,
committee?
if you would like me to come in sometime and we can.
I'll just tell you right now.
Tell me right now.
It's very easy this year to be on the committee, so you all should want to be on the committee. Because we're going with the theme Libraries Rock, which is the summer reading theme, and because we're hiring a Blues Brothers band, the giveaway is very easy because it's I think we're getting glasses and the fedora. Yeah.
Oh, neat.
We still have bookmarks and keychains. We have bracelets with Libraries Rock on it. So we have a lot of swag right now. And then, of course, candy. We always, every group hands out candy. So now that we're getting closer to the event, I can post it as a March with the Library. And then all of the details of where you meet up in the line. Right now, we have a very long space because it's our library banner, which we always carry the banner first. So it's the library, and then the band. So it's going
the
to
band's
be
behind the banner.
I'm going to tell you, yes, it's the banner, and then the Bluesmobile. Bluesmobile, I love that. And then a truck pulling a trailer with an 11-piece band on it.
Oh,
the
my
Blues
goodness.
Brothers Next
How fun.
Generation tribute band,
How fun.
and
Ever
then
seen these guys?
Yeah.
They're awesome.
us walking.
Oh, I can't wait. I've never seen one.
Oh yeah, it's going to be very, very exciting.
So are you,
The big speaker on the police car?
I haven't seen them. I've seen the new vehicle on Facebook, but the new police car.
they need to make the parade longer so the band can play longer.
In our application, they always ask. There's a space that says estimate how long a space you need to line up. So I just kind of measured a certain number of vehicles and people. So yeah.
So in years past, everybody's worn the same T-shirt or something like that. Are you doing anything like that this time?
Well, those of us who have the Libraries Rock T-shirt, we're going to wear that. But otherwise, it's a white tee because it's the glasses and the hat.
Okay,
with
so
the Blues
white
Brothers.
T-shirts.
Yeah, I think so. I think that's the simplest way to kind of get us all together.
White T-shirts, dark glasses.
Yeah.
Looking cool.
Trying
Trying.
to look cool.
I want the hat.
Not a white dress shirt with a black tie.
If you have that on a summer day, well, short sleeves, it would work. Yeah,
And cut off shorts.
Oh, yeah.
I'll put all of these suggestions in the event for people to register that they can either wear a white tee or white shirt with a black tie. We're just trying to, even everyone out.
Yeah, yeah,
So we
great.
kind of look like we're all together. But, we'll have the hats. So, and they're not going to say, like in the past, we've given out stuff that says Merrimack Library.
Yeah.
But the bracelets and
Yeah.
the key rings say that, but the hats and the glasses. It's
No.
gonna be the band.
Yeah,
We're with the band.
okay.
Yep.
The board
That
reserves the
sounds
right
really
to have a hat.
Yeah, you guys all need to register. Tell me that you're going to show up so I can hold your hats.
Okay.
So we have to register on the website.
That would be helpful.
Okay,
Once I'll put the event up, I can put it up like tomorrow,
okay.
so.
And if you need anything from me to help, like making phone calls or arranging for anything or anything like
I'll
that,
tell
just
ya,
let me know.
This is a really easy
Z1.
event.
Okay.
Are you able to come to the
Or
thing?
shopping
Everybody able to come?
before
I'm
or
going.
something like that.
Yeah,
Like-
it'll be fun.
It's a Wednesday.
You
this
guys
year.
have it down to a
Yeah.
science, but.
Yeah, it's in the middle of the week, so.
Wait, what does that mean?
Yeah.
We might set a precedent and have to have like a really cool band the following year.
No. It's been fun. We've participated before. It's been
No.
fun. Yeah.
This sounds fabulous. People should definitely want to come.
Okay.
Yeah, oh, okay, okay.
That's it.
Okay, we already talked about the controls. E-commerce rate?
Just a question about the controls. Is there any changes you want to give to me that I can submit?
Oh, I didn't realize you were looking for that as well.
We have changes. We have changes on our side, but I didn't. I just,
I wasn't looking at it through that
Yeah, I
lens.
wasn't either.
Then
We were looking
Probably
at it
not.
through the,
it's probably more on our side, really. But
Well, there, can I get back to you?
yeah,
They
we
were-
would have to look
Yes.
at it again because
Okay.
we
They're
weren't
different.
viewing it that way.
Right.
Okay.
Were these the questions that you were asked?
that's it. Yeah,
I was gonna say, because those were these are different from the ones we got last year.
that's it.
Okay.
Those are the
I
questions.
think in the fall, we get a different questionnaire. that
Oh,
goes
that's
directly-
that is different. Yeah,
Yeah, that goes.
that's a
directly
whole
to
different
trustees.
questionnaire.
Oh, that's what that was then. Okay. All right.
Okay, so I got.
I'm sorry, what was your question on e-commerce?
What was the question? Oh, geez. Hang on. Here we go. How are the e-commerce rates determined? That was the question.
What e-commerce?
What do you,
What I wrote to the GMILK staff last night at the trustees meeting, they asked how the e-commerce rates were determined. They were reviewing the trustee accounts and saw that the rate isn't the same from year to year. Okay.
you're
so
talking about from G-Milks?
I'm talking about, this was a question about e-commerce. So I have,
And she met with G-Milks.
With G-Milks?
What e-commerce rate are they talking about?
That's the e-commerce, or at least this is what I'm getting. The e-commerce is the amount that we pay for the smart pay function,
Oh,
online
okay.
credit cards. It's just not it hasn't been constant for like the last 5 or 6 years. It's just different
Okay,
rate.
It's the rate we pay, not.
It's the rate we pay.
right.
Mentally, I'm thinking, like, what rates do we
Yeah.
charge customers online? or
No,
something?
okay. So here's the answer from Marilyn Borgendale, who's the GMILK staff. 7 public libraries are using it, so out of our 12, only 7. Comprise offered to include one of the academics for free because their circulation was so low and the other libraries were buying in. Annual platform fee is $800 per library. The libraries agreed to charge $2 convenience fee for each transaction to cover the costs of the
How much?
transaction.
$2?
Did I not scan this email? Oh, okay. Sorry about that. So the libraries agreed to charge a $2 convenience fee. I will pass this email around so you don't have to go crazy typing. For each transaction to cover the cost of the transaction and help pay for the annual PCI compliance certification. For the last couple of years, the convenience fee account has gathered sufficient funds beyond actual costs to share among the libraries to reduce the platform fee.
PCI?
That's the company.
Oh,
Compliance certification. She didn't write out what PCI stands for. So it's who's buying in. It's $800, but it's who's buying in, and
we don't charge a fee though, do we?
Yeah, we do.
We do we?
We have to, because it's part of, all we do is we buy the service and we have a link on our website
Oh.
that goes to essentially, I guess it's PCI, that does
I
the
got
service
it,
for
yeah.
us.
Okay.
Yeah, PCI is like payment card industry or something like that. Any company that does business with credit cards online has to go through PCI compliance and everything.
Oh,
It's a whole
Okay.
thing, yeah.
all right. So any further discussion about that? Any questions anybody has? It's a service we intend on keeping.
oh, absolutely,
Yeah,
yeah.
that's what I thought.
Mhm.
Citizen credit card update?
So this is a question about that the library staff have one business card rather than each department having an individual card. So I met with someone from Citizens Bank who works with the town through another thing. And they actually liked how we did it. You know, for them it's a lot cleaner because I have one statement and I can't, if it's on my statement, I can't say I didn't charge that, you know, unless it was a fraud. But really, I have my statement and I have to.
So you mean each individual person with their own card would have their own statement, is what they're saying?
Right. You know, she said, you know, they would be able to offer like one statement, but then it's a matter of
Who did who? Who's who?
it's a little bit of that. You know, I can pass. I thought I.
Do you have any thoughts
I not-
about that?
This one you photographed, give me the
Yeah,
copy
but I
of it.
gave you your packet, so
Right.
I thought I had attached these. I'm sorry. But there's the details. You know, if we move to a different bank for the staff cards, you know, then it's, you know, do we want to earn points? You know, the benefit might be earning points. But I still am waiting to hear back from the current bank about, you know, can we get one statement and what does that mean? You know, what does that look like? So it's still working on it. And then we can look at the pros and cons, I guess.
Okay. Okay,
Yeah.
so we're still gathering information to
Yeah,
really figure it
little
out.
bit.
Okay.
Karen, you can pass that around if you. Okay.
Yeah, they're both going around. I just
Okay.
wanted to.
Thank you.
Oh, I see. Earning rewards. When you spend $5,000 in
Well,
the first 90
sure,
days.
but that we're not going to. But that might mean, you know, one of the scenarios she was giving me was, you know, buying materials on the credit card to earn points, and it's like, okay, but then that adds an extra step for the staff
Yeah.
in terms of processing it and then
Yeah.
sending the invoice over
Yeah.
to the town to cut the check and pay it, versus just the invoice goes over and we
Yeah.
just pay it.
Yeah.
You know, I don't know. Earning points. I mean, I don't.
Not
I
high
don't know.
on the list.
Maybe not. You know, honestly,
Yeah.
maybe not. You know, but we'll find out. We'll keep gathering. I will keep gathering info.
Okay, the granite sign, where are we with that?
I spoke with David Brooks to get a quote from him. This turned into a much bigger deal than I expected.
Huh.
All I wanted was a quote. But with him, he sent over some pictures.
So let's back up a second. The sign would go,
So these signs that I wanted to get a quote on are like the ones that say Merrimack, 4 villages, 1 town.
okay,
That's in front of the town hall and one down in Watson.
yeah.
Through talking to him, he wanted to see where it was going to go and about the size and to give him a better feel for how big it would be, which is when...
So you were trying to be consistent with what the town was doing with other signage
Correct.
and include the library in
I just
that?
wanted to know how much it costs.
Yeah,
That was really all I wanted.
yeah.
But it grew. From that, after then, I spoke with him and said, like, this is really just a fact-finding mission. I just wanted to know how much it was cost. The trustees need to vote on it. We don't know if we're going to do it or not. And then he understood that. And he knew that our meeting was today and that whether or not we were going to do it or not. So the, here. That's about what it would look like. The cost is
You have one.
$1,250, which includes installation. It takes 5 to 6 weeks to complete, and the sign would read Merrimack Public Library, established 1893. I did print out a couple different other fonts because when I talked with him, I don't need that. Well, I'll take it back. But the public library isn't in the right font, and he saw it and went, "Oh, you're right. It's not supposed to be an Arial." So just there's 5 here. So the top 2 are the same font as what Merrimack is, and the bottom one is Times New Roman. So one is the Goody old style. So, but
Why not use the font?
Yeah.
I see it in
yeah,
the E.
it's very subtle, but it's a lot different than with this public library.
Yeah, I don't like that.
What's the font on the other signs in town?
He said they're either this Goody or Paramount, but he liked Goody for Merrimack, which I guess is what, I don't know if he did that for the other ones, but that's what his suggestion was, so.
See the difference.
I just didn't like the Arial for public library, given
I
how
agree.
nice Merrimack looks. So then I was like, well, why not just do it all in Goody? But he also said that
See the dot?
he had 2 fonts, one being
Diamond.
Goody and one being Paramount. They're very similar, and there's no additional cost.
It's really.
So it's $1,250.
What do folks think about having this sign? What do you think of that?
Oh, I think it's a nice sign. I mean, I'm wondering about the location of it. When when you live with the posts, the little orange sticks where it is for a little while.
Yeah.
I don't like them. I don't like where they are.
It's very tight.
Yeah, I drove by. Every time I drove up or took the corner, I'm like, I don't like those there. But he wasn't set on those either, and it would be wherever we'd want it to be. And even
Well,
with
maybe we need different color sticks. Do a set. You know what I mean?
I do.
Well,
I
couple
didn't
of-
think it was like off the corner. It wasn't like 45 to the corner. It wasn't set well with
Yeah.
the building, and
Because, I've talked to the garden club, and they can move the
well,
plants.
that's what Jared said. Jared
Yeah.
said the same thing. Jared was like, because somehow I mentioned, I don't know how it came up, but he was like, we can he's like, we can trim back the bushes,
Yeah.
we can move the bushes. He's like, if we want it to be like square on the building to have it nice, he's like, we can put it anywhere. And he's like, because David seemed to be really fixed on not doing anything with the bushes, just keeping them where they were. And Jared was like, we can trim them.
Yeah.
They'll be fine. So,
Is everybody supportive of having this sign, a granite sign in front of the library?
Well, let me, before
Okay.
you say yes or no,
Okay.
last year, because this was a conversation from last year, when I was at the farmer's market doing outreach, with our little canopy, I talked to several people who had lived in town for a long time and did not know where the library was.
Ooh.
And because I have my banners out and it's like, oh, you're from the library. And I'm like, yeah, do you have a library card? Chat, chat, chat. And it's like, well, I don't know where is the library? And I'm like, it's like a mile, just go that way. It's by the mobile station. It's on the corner of Babusick. I've driven past that. I've never seen it. So that's kind of, well, now we have
Well, it's
banners
a-
on the side of the building.
yeah,
But,
yeah.
there's no sign. What the conversation was is there's no sign on the corner saying library.
And the building sort of blends into the background a bit. The color, the beige color, and then there's a brick box, so it it's not outstanding. Sorry,
Maybe the brick box makes it stand out.
I don't know.
But no, so this was a whole, how do we get a sign there? We've talked about doing the electronic sign on the corner. And then, we started to see that the granite signs go up around town. So now we're looking at a granite sign. So
Yeah.
that's a little background for,
I think it would be nice in
I'd
love
terms
it.
of complementing the other signage that the town is doing
Sure.
and being consistent with that. I would wonder about the color of the granite and how that would look against, I don't know what color, was this a granite, is this a
Yeah,
granite
and
sign?
just when you leave,
The
just,
gray?
yeah, it's,
I'm wondering if it would show up enough.
It would,
It would?
it would, and it would be about the same color as,
Town
That-
hall one.
it's the same as the town hall, but it was also, if you look at the
mhm.
Lowell, the memorial building,
Yeah.
on the side, it has, on the corners, it's like it has these,
Yes.
I don't know what you'd call them, but they're essentially like granite corner pieces on the sides of the building, and it would match those
Oh,
colors.
yeah. Mhm.
They're
Oh.
like decorative pieces.
Cornices, like,
I don't know what they're called. It's, look.
yeah.
Did you and Jared or anybody, having lived with those poles for a while and not liking where those are, have you got an alternative,
Well, I think we,
where to place it?
maybe we get some other poles and play with it. Now, I have to tell you that traditionally, we have allowed the Merrimack Rotary, or the Rotary Club of Merrimack, to put up a very large banner about the July 4th parade, Family Fun Day, and that will stretch across the corner. So, you know, in the future, when a sign goes up,
Mhm.
we just have to rethink that. But in terms of, for the next couple of weeks, viewing the location of a granite sign is going to be a little complicated because we're going to have this banner on the corner.
Right.
Just
That's
until
true.
Family Fun Day is over, and
Well-
then that'll come down.
Well, they put the police signs down at Watson Park,
Mhm.
right in front of it. I mean, for a week or two,
Mhm.
putting a sign in front of it isn't, I don't see that would have to end.
No, but I'm saying if we're going to speculate
Yes.
about, you know,
About
location B, location C on that
Yeah.
corner.
So we need to take a little time and put the stakes in different spots, see
I
where
can-
we like
I
it.
can,
Maybe
I
put
can,
a,
we can
put
get some
a,
stakes. We can get some stakes.
a tape
Well,
in
yeah,
between
Jared,
them to
yeah.
give an idea
Yeah.
of dimension
Yeah.
Jared's
and
good
move it
idea.
around different places. And as we drive by, we can,
I like the red set. I like the blue. I don't know.
Exactly.
Okay, but the question is, do we want to spend $1,250, and do we want to do it?
Where's the money coming from? This would come out of special, or are we gonna
Special.
do
yeah.
something different for it, or?
I'm not going to get too hung up on that. I think it would come out of special if everybody's in agreement that we want the sign to be.
I got mixed feelings about it, quite honestly.
I think it's a really good price for a granite sign
What are
and
your,
installation.
What are your,
I don't think it's a bad idea. I just think as far as priorities go, I think it's a lower priority. And
Mhm.
I think
Point
right
well
now, there's
taken.
other things
Mhm.
that we need to focus on instead of this.
Mhm.
that's fair.
And to go along with that, we're looking at this electronic sign, and,
That's where I think we
and
should focus.
those are,
It's encumbered.
it's encumbered.
Mhm.
Yep, those on your list.
I didn't notice.
Oh, how could you not? I work really hard. We work
Yeah, I
really hard
thought
on that
that-
list.
we had talked about it.
I looked for it. I didn't see it either.
Oh, good, I don't feel,
I looked.
okay. Okay.
No, I'm gonna look now, again.
On this list?
Yes.
Oh, that
it's
list.
Oh.
I have
It's
the,
on the big list, not this little list.
oh gosh, no.
Yeah, it's on the big
Okay,
list.
it's on the big list. Okay, the big list is
On
over
the big
here.
list.
I have it.
Oh,
It's right-
17.
I don't have that with.
No, it's, they moved it. Okay, she moved it, so it's not 17.
Okay, I don't feel so bad. 17?
Hang on,
Okay.
hang on.
No?
It's not on there, of course it's. It's gotta be on there.
Okay, I could be wrong. It's on the new and improved one.
But it's encumbered, so.
Okay.
I might have been getting a quote. That might be,
Well, one of
but
the
anyway.
things that the building committee and when they meet with the library can do is, your point's well taken, Rick,
Right.
is to maybe look at what are the priorities again and see where things
I'm not
fall.
opposed to it.
It's not a huge expense either,
Yeah.
and I think to be consistent with what the town's doing is a nice feature, and we want to enhance the outside physical plant, the way it looks in the library, and draw attention to it. So I think in an effort to let people know it's there and have signage and draw people in. I think it's a positive step to put a sign out there.
Yeah, I'm not
Along with the
opposed to it,
banners, which
just
were wonderful and things like
not
that.
sure Where, like I said, I'm not sure where it would fit in our priorities. So I'm not opposed to it.
Yeah,
That's why I said I have mixed feelings.
yeah, yeah. Okay, any other discussion about the sign? So we'll move forward with experimenting location at this point.
And then we revisit whether we
Okay,
actually
so-
We're gonna
will
revisit
do
it.
it and pay
It's an
for it.
ongoing.
Okay.
We're gonna look at it a little more closely, see where we might want to place it. It's not a done deal yet.
Yeah, that electric sign.
But I think it's a good for advertising, this is the library. When people are saying to you, we don't know where the library is, at least having another sign
Yeah, that's shocking.
will help with that. And we want
Shocking.
the public to
It was
know
shocking.
where their library
We're
is.
right on the main street.
I'm not shocked by
But it's
that.
hard to see the signs.
I was.
The sign on
Says
Babuzik
Merrimack
Lake
Public
roadside is over in, unless you happen to look that way, you won't see it. And then in the front, it's rather hidden on the Lowell building. It's hard to see easily.
Yeah.
And then if you're coming up Route 3, heading south, unless you can see your outdoor sign of events, which is very nice, but it doesn't plaster Merrimack
Well, it
Public
says
Library.
Merrimack Public Library.
Right, but it's
up
not-
on the building.
It's not shouting at you.
No.
So I can see where people would.
It's not
would-
white yet, or lighter yet.
Yeah, it would, so we want to enhance the outside of the building and advertise. We want you to know it's here because we would like you to
Yeah.
use the library.
No, yeah.
It's
That's
on that
really
corner.
It makes me wonder,
And if
would-
you're turning, you're concentrating, unfortunately, or fortunately, because you're being safe, on turning.
it makes me wonder though.
Because
Obviously, if
when
somebody's
I
new
drive
to
by
town-
it, I think I can totally see why someone wouldn't realize that's what it is, because you're concentrating on doing something else.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, that's what I was going to say. It makes me wonder what people think that building actually is. I would love to have been able to ask that follow-up question. Is that brick in the old mixed building there across from the mobile station? And if they say yeah, just saying, well, what do you think that building is? If you didn't know where the library is,
Well, when
what are
you
your thoughts on it? What
turn
that
to go
library
up Babuzik Lake Road, there is that small little sign that says library, the blue and white one, which is really good. That catches my attention more than any of the other signs. Partly because of the color, I see it, and partly because its location. It's easy to see as you drive by.
But is the building mistaken as an office building or something, just because of the square
Don't
part of it
know.
or something? That's what I'm wondering.
Don't know.
Just one more reason I love the banners, because it really makes the building pop.
That makes it look
Yeah.
pop, yeah, so. Any, policies to review?
Kid policy, right?
The kit.
I just have to make a comment about that. Just, the banners were $1,000. Just for
But
perspective.
That's valid point.
That, it's
Very
all, I
valid
just
point.
throw it out there. And I love them though,
Yes.
It's a good point.
so,
Point taken.
okay. So,
I don't understand the point, but that's okay.
No, she's talking about the sign,
Well, you
the granite
spent
sign
yeah.
cost.
The banners
The
were
banners are
$1,000.
And
granite
the
sign
sign's
is
$12.50, right.
Yeah, so we're not talking that much more for a nice granite sign.
It is, it's a great price.
policies.
Okay, so you had looked at this policy a couple of months ago. I believe the main thing, you wanted some clarification or definition on kit.
Yep.
So the definition that we really should go to is the definition for cataloging, because we have a lot of different kinds of items, and so there's a guideline, there's a book, AACR 2, which is the cataloging rules. And so if you're going to say, if I am a librarian, but as a librarian, I have to pick up an item and I have to define what it is. I have to go to the rules. So the AACR2, this is how they define a kit.
I see.
Well, actually, this is a lot less confusing than the original one from several months ago. It was kind of long and had a lot of detail.
I don't have a copy of that one.
Yeah, I don't either, but I know that this one
yeah,
was a
this
lot
is much more
easier to
concise.
understand. This
All right.
one was
good.
simplified it
Okay, good.
and gave an example. So I thought this was much better.
Need to vote on this, yes?
And how are the patrons informed of the policy? Because they may be charged. Is there a little handout that goes with it, or they sign they sign that form, don't they?
Not for everything.
Not for everything.
No.
So how do they know about this piece?
Well,
of
it's
it?
posted on the website.
But when
You know,
they
we
check it out.
we tell them what the policy is. They can receive a copy of the policy.
Okay, so
And
they
some
have
of it is included in the kit.
well, that's what I didn't know. Does a copy of this come with the kits, a little card? Maybe it doesn't have to be a paper. It could be a little laminated card that says this is the kit lending policy, so that it's with the kit, something like that, so that people know. They can't say, well, I didn't know. It just, it's
Well, they can't
just-
say that, but
That's how I think. Yeah. So, okay.
I just was confused about number 2. Within 1 to 7 days of receipt, a library staff member will verify the completeness and cleanliness of the kit, and the kit will be checked in.
Yeah.
That's just a description of, as it's coming back to the desk, gives the staff time to,
Right.
they don't have to do it right then and there in front of the patron.
So it's
No.
not checked in until they actually complete
that-
their inspection?
Is that what I'm,
sure. But if someone returns a book on CD and there are 8 CDs, before we check it in, we're going to count all the CDs are there. They're not broken.
Right.
And then we can check it in. So it's normal procedures for the staff to check
Right.
and make sure everything is back.
So the
Or-
the audio
or not
books are
damaged.
considered,
No,
Kits?
they're not a kit, no.
oh,
That's an item, that's just a material.
okay. Okay. This looks, I read it over, I didn't see anything.
Yeah.
I'll make the motion to accept the policy as written.
Okay, second?
I seconded.
Oh, one thing I wanted to mention, we had changed on the bylaws, made that change. And this was the copy I'm sorry, we've got to vote. I'm sorry, I got ahead of myself.
I would like to make a change.
I'm-
to the kit lending?
You made a
Sorry.
sharp laugh.
I did. I just got triggered and I was direction. I'm
Okay,
sorry.
Before you vote on the policy, because Janice, you looked at number 2, I would probably change 2 and 3 so that 3 is first, and then 2 will follow, because it has to be returned, and then within 1 to 7 days of
That's
receipt.
a good idea.
Then that probably is a better. That probably would make
That
more
would
sense.
be that the patron returns something. You guys don't
In
have to stop
3,
and.
And then 2, we're
Right.
gonna.
But what I'm thinking is, I return this kit to you at 5 minutes before closing. Clearly, you need more time than that to go through it. And so this is saying to the patron, by the way, we do have to go through it. We might not go at 5 minutes to the close of
Right,
library.
because you have to think Lego kits.
Right, it's going to take a while to do that.
Okay, but I would.
Makes total sense.
Yeah, I
But
think
3 and
that's a
But
good
if we
idea.
do 3 first and then
Okay.
2 after.
Okay, so I'll withdraw the motion and remake the motion with the pending change of reordering number 2 and 3.
Okay.
You still seconding, Karen?
Yep.
All in favor?
Now you can take your shirt off.
Okay, I'm sorry, I got off on a tangent. On the bylaws, this is just a comment.
Bylaws, yes.
There has to be, at the end of it, you have to put a revision date. You have to put when it was revised, because mine,
did.
my copy doesn't have that.
It, here, I printed it out.
So as long as it has a revision date on it.
It does, it's May
Okay.
2008, oh, here it is.
Okay. Where's the, okay, very good, I'm happy. And there should be one on the back page.
Oh, no, it's not the back page.
Yeah, okay, there it is. Very good, thank you. I'm happy. Is there anything else anyone would like to bring up?
The one
Yes?
thing I had on my goals was, well, the one thing I couldn't get to my computer, so I couldn't get any of my notes on the notes about the secretary position, but so with the alternate, since there were really only 4 steps, I retyped it. It's not as pretty, but I typed it up at my lunch hour.
Okay,
So here's the steps that I had for appointing an alternate, and you went through it, so if you see any additional.
Was this something on the
Yeah,
timeline that you,
it was
you
supposed to be by this
specifically?
meeting. That was on me, to type up the steps to appoint
Did
an
you wanna
alternate. And I believe these were the steps that we went through when we appointed Karen.
I saw it in the newspaper.
who does the advertising?
That's how I found out about it.
Well, we usually do that. We could do
So
that.
that's done by the library.
And I think I just either called or whatever it told
I
me
think
to
you
do.
emailed in.
I can't. Yeah, I think I
Yeah.
emailed, and then you emailed me back, and then I came
Right,
to a
we
meeting.
we invited you to the meeting.
Right.
The board got a chance to talk to you, so, kind of interview you a little bit. Everybody voted to say, yeah, we're going to recommend her. Then we made the appointment. I called Nancy Harrington, made the appointment to go in front of the town council. And she and I think Yvette, did you come to that meeting?
Mhm.
Yeah, the 3 of us went to the town council meeting, presented the fact we wanted her appointed as an alternate, because the town council has to appoint the alternates. We don't have the power to do that ourselves. So I think they asked you one question or something, right? Or not even, I don't even know if
I
they
think
asked
I
you.
just made a statement
Yeah, you
about
made a
why
statement, and
I
then
wanted
they,
to do it, and
They took a vote, and then they swear her in right there at the meeting, and after that, she's an active alternate.
Okay. Would you mind just making this a little bit more detailed?
Yeah, like I
This
said,
says
I
it's-
typed it up. I have a better copy that I typed up on
Yeah,
my computer, and
With a title?
Okay.
I couldn't get to my computer because I didn't have power, so I retyped it.
Okay,
Just wanted to bring this to present.
thank you.
Did
So-
anybody not get one? I have an
So
extra.
just sort of
No.
refine it a bit as a document?
Yeah.
Yeah, that would be
As
great,
I said, I've
thank
got a
you.
better copy, but I wanted to get this out to everybody.
Thank you.
So.
Okay, anything else? Yes?
Yeah, I thought it was on the agenda, but I guess I don't know where I tucked it, but, okay, the sign.
Yes.
Ah, the sign.
I think I had it on the agenda and then I changed the agenda and consolidated or something. So, you should have 2 pictures in your packet.
Yeah, I
I
didn't print
didn't
mine
print
out.
them, but
I
I,
didn't
but
print
I,
them.
but I studied them and I am ready to discuss
I have
them.
them.
Okay.
I
I'll
just
hold them
didn't
up.
want to use all that ink.
Far away.
So
What do you like?
They just look like black blobs to me.
You're so bad.
Okay, so,
well, what do I like and what can we pay for?
Well, that's it.
Does this look like,
There's
is this a
kind of
video
a huge
screen? It
difference.
looks like a TV screen. Is that what this is?
no,
No,
this is sign, okay,
I can't tell what it is.
okay.
It's the same sign that is
It's-
on the,
Imagine
on
the
the
reader
building
board, this
now.
is the reader board, okay?
it's the same
Okay,
size.
okay, this will help you. This is what you're looking at.
Yes, I see that.
Yes. So now we can replace this, same size, same location, same power source, with a sign that's
Right, I
just
understand
words.
that, yeah.
Okay. That's what you're looking at.
So
But-
either
but-
just words or fully videoed.
It's not a video.
Well, no, okay.
I'm gonna
Well,
tell
that
you.
was what looks like a TV screen to me. That's why I was wondering what kind of a screen, what kind of a sign it was. You know, you have signs that you can run the message across and
Okay,
things
So-
like that.
yes. Okay. So what you're looking at is option 1, option 2. You can have an option that's less expensive of just red letters.
Mhm.
Oh,
If you look at any of the gas stations in town have this kind of sign, red letters. the police station has is kind of signed red letters.
Okay.
The transfer
Our-
station, the sign right where you pull in is the red letter one.
Yeah,
Okay.
so, I spoke to Robert Price in Planning and Zoning, about what the ordinance says about signs in town. Because our vendor said, you know, check with your town and see what the zoning is. So, for us, because the library is, classified as government use, we are exempt from the provisions of the zoning ordinance under state law. It said, the ordinance says that electronic signs must be static for 20 minutes before changing.
What does that mean?
Means it can't move.
No moving. Okay, so it can't have no text transition like a PowerPoint. You can't kind of go in and out.
Oh,
Okay, no flashing, no framing effects, no scrolling. That's what the ordinance says.
framing
No
effects?
no moving.
Yeah, you know how things
Pictures.
like
Yeah,
the
so you
text
can't
to
scroll it,
that's
the
part of
wording can't
ordinance.
be
This is
scrolled.
a
We're
town
ex-
ordinance,
This is,
though,
but
right?
we're exempt from the
Right,
ordinance.
so we're exempt.
Sure. However,
However,
I would not recommend that we disregard the ordinance because you still have cars driving by. We don't want to have someone distracted. We don't want to cause any trouble by getting really flagrant with our sign. I think it's fine if it stays still for 20 minutes, even if it's a picture like
Oh,
this
and then,
book cover.
so then it can change what
After
it
20
says.
minutes, sure, because really, someone's going to drive past it and it's going to be static, and then they're gone. And in 20 minutes, we're going to have a whole bunch of other cars driving by
Mhm.
within 20 minutes.
Okay,
You know, and it's just that 21st minute when it's going to switch over, and then it's going to be static for something else.
okay.
and it's about $5,000 difference too, so.
And
Right.
this one has color in it, whereas this one's just red and
It's just red words.
Okay.
So the benefits of changing the sign, it's, you know, we can program a computer, it's a dedicated computer, we can program it out a year. I mean, we could really say, okay, we're just gonna do all these events, and each screen is gonna be 20 minutes, it's gonna be static. And then it's just information about our events, or, you know, sometimes the town manager will ask, can you post voting information on your sign, because it's a public sign, or, you know, any kind of town message that, you know, the town manager might want to go out, she'll contact me, and yes, we can assist, we want to get information out to our residents.
Does one sign have more flexibility in where you can actually, how you can, where you, like, printing up here, or are you in more of a confined space in one of them?
The one with pictures is more
So
flexible.
this one gives you more flexibility in the usage of the signage space.
Yeah.
So you can use more space on this one than you can on this one.
What?
No?
Well, they're the same size.
They're
so
the
I
exact
think-
same size.
No, no, what I'm,
Pixels is-
RGB, yeah.
Yeah,
So there's
they-
more, there's more real estate essentially.
yeah, so
on your
you
10
have,
millimeter versus your 16 millimeter.
yeah, so you get more usage out of the space here than you would on this one.
You know, honestly, the red sign is very similar to what we have now.
Right,
Right,
it's
it-
two-tone.
It is two-tone, it's lines of text.
But it's also, I'm just wondering about the usage of the entire, it'd be nice to be able to use the entire sign rather than just the center square of the sign. To be able to use all of the space of the
No,
sign.
I don't think, the background isn't part of the sign. It's just that,
Right, can you
That's
put
it.
the letters up here as well as here? In
Well,
other
they have to
words,
be, I mean, you know, you have to read them. On our reader board now, we don't put a lot of text on the reader board because someone's driving past and you're just gonna catch it
right,
and then keep going. So you can't really clutter it up. You're not gonna clutter it up with and use every, you know, you do wanna have a certain amount of white space, or negative space. The difference is, you know, right now, to change a sign, and I've done this, I've done it in heels, I've done it in a skirt, I've done it in all kinds of weather. You know, it's very challenging to change the sign,
yeah.
you know, and if it's something that has to be changed quickly, it's just very old technology. And if we keep talking about, we want to draw attention to the library, we want people to understand things are happening here, this is a great way to do it.
Mhm.
But it's also, a lot more efficient in terms of staff time, of getting the letter out and,
It's a safer way of advertising.
oh, yeah, I'll just say,
So mentally, in my mind, I'm kind of picturing, I guess, we have like the red version of the sign, which is like the police station, which is electronic copy of what we already have up
Yep.
there. It's something that'd be easier to change. But then this fancier sign, it's not going to be video. It's just a static image. But I'm wondering for the outside sign, especially if we're not going to change it it's going to be 20 minutes before it changes.
but you're not gonna sit in your car for 20 minutes or for
I
5
know, but I'm
minutes
just
and
trying to
wait.
think of is there anything different that would be able to put out there other than a picture on it?
But you can still put words if you want. It's
Yeah.
just
Put emojis.
I don't.
So Rick, is it like, just as this example, this is a cover of a book?
Yeah.
So are you saying like, if this were chopped in 4, you could put 4 different pictures or 4 different messages? Or is that sort of what you're wondering about?
I'm mentally trying to
I think this one is more
Visualize.
versatile.
Information are you thinking is going
well,
to
I'm trying to visualize what an advantage of,
This-
other than being able to put a picture behind the text or anything like that. I'm trying to
What is
mentally
the
Yeah,
advantage?
what's the advantage?
Well, a picture doesn't have to go behind the text, the picture can go next to the
it or
text.
something, yeah,
I
but
think this has a
Yeah,
lot
it's-
more versatility.
Yeah, I understand what you're saying though, because if, let's say you're advertising an author visit, but I don't happen to know the library hours, so I'm waiting for the information to come, and right now it's the library, it's the author visit, so for 20 minutes it's gonna be sitting there, and I'm like, okay, it's great, but I'm only seeing the author visit. There's no more information that I'm getting with the
well, I'm also
5 minutes
picturing
that I'm
like
driving
the
by.
monitors behind that we have inside the library. We have those monitors that flash up different
Mm-hmm.
things, and they have like the D&D night, and they have they have little 20-sided dice that pops up in the picture and everything, but it alternates frequently.
Can't do that.
We're
Where,
not driving it.
Yeah, that's why mentally I'm
Now,
trying
here's the
to
thing.
see the pros and
We-
cons of the two different signs.
If we find, because we're exempt from the ordinance, we don't have to stay at 20 minutes.
Right, but still, like you said,
You
people are
could do 10
driving by.
minutes, we could
You know,
do 5 minutes,
even if we
could
did
do
5
a
minutes, as
minute.
people are
I
driving by.
don't recommend we do
No,
that.
I don't think we should either, but I'm just trying to, in my own head, trying to get the pros and cons of both sides, both signs. And
The places that generated these pictures, or do they have a video that shows how these were being used? I'm just curious.
well, I guess, maybe it's
Because then you
something
could
for the
run it through
staff.
your head of what it looks like.
I guess, because the staff would be the ones making the content for the signs. If we can get some kind of feedback from the staff, what they envision, that they could do with the fancier sign versus not do with the plainer sign. Just so I can mentally picture
More.
something.
You could do more. You could do more. I mean,
This one definitely has a lot more versatility.
Oh, yeah.
Has anybody seen the one at Hooksett? You probably have seen it, right? I mean,
Is it like this one or the other one?
to me, it's more like the red, but they use other colors. And is on this humongous lawn, and it's kind of set back, and it's changing, but it's not changing like rapidly, but it's changing more than less than 20 minutes, I would say.
Hooks it, you're talking about?
Yeah, Hooksett.
Hmm.
So it's not really this, it's kind of like the red and the black, but they've incorporated other colors, and I don't know if that just means what they bought. But it's their library, you can't even see it from one part of the road, so I'm assuming that's why they put that sign down there on the lawn, so that it draws people's attention.
I've been
to
actually
it.
wanting to take a road trip out to their library about some of the stuff they were talking about with the, at the New Hampshire trustee meeting thing. I've been
So
wanting to go out to visit them.
where do we want to leave this issue right at the moment? Where do you want to leave this right now?
I would like the sign.
Wait,
I would
but
like
if-
to
definitely
I-
want
but wait a
a
minute,
sign.
but you were saying that this is gonna be encumbered money.
It's encumbered now,
Okay.
because we had the funds. So if you decide to not have a sign, then, or if you decide to not have a sign, once we get past, July 1st, that money gets released. We could release the vendor, we release the PO, and it just has to be re-encumbered for other uses.
I think we all agree
Yeah,
we
we
need
all
a new
agree on a
sign.
sign. It's just
Yeah,
which
I
one.
think,
all
I think
agree
you
on
need a
that?
sign. I can't
yeah.
picture you out in the wintertime in a skirt, trying to change the letters, like you
Well,
do
I
now,
don't-
so, or Jared or whoever.
It's very scary. I've
It's
seen it.
Jared,
Yeah.
but, hey,
I
it's
mean-
better, now that we have a cement pad
Mm-hmm.
with, a ladder that it actually opens.
Ugh.
Because I've done it when you do the big ladder and you lean against the building and you're doing the shimmy. I've done it.
No, I think a sign is a good thing.
Yeah, this
But-
is something I've wanted to see for the buildings since I got on the
So we all-
trustees.
Janice, do you agree that we need a sign? Electronic sign?
If we've encumbered the money for it and we can get it,
You
yes.
can still say no.
No, I think we should.
Okay, so we're all on the same page about
Yeah.
getting a sign.
And
So,
then-
The other thing is, if you want to meet with the vendor and ask him lots and lots of questions, you can do that. Joanne and I met with him, and
are these the two final ones you came down to as your
this,
choices?
this is it. There was a middle one that, I don't see the point, honestly, in showing you this, and it's, maybe $2,000 difference than the nice one. I don't think the middle one, I wouldn't go with the middle one. I don't even think it's worth showing you. But this is your basic one, and this is the one with pictures. There's a middle one with pictures with not great pictures,
Yeah.
the images aren't great. So why I don't want to waste your time deciding between three. It's two. If you decide to go with letters only, no images, and it's less than what we encumbered, then the balance of the encumbrance gets released, and we just use it for something else.
Personally, I think you can be a penny wise and a pound foolish. And I think in looking into the future, I would be in favor of something that has more versatility.
And
And that gives you color, gives you something that's noticeable.
if we change the building in any way, new building, different building, renovation.
And this would fit right in with it.
This can move with us.
Yeah.
We can take it off, and
Yeah.
it moves with us.
So I like the idea of having something that's more modern and more versatile and has the color in it.
Yeah.
And
I just have
because the
more
color will
questions
help
about it.
stand it out.
Yeah.
This is fine, for the police station, for what their purpose is maybe, I mean, I'm not trying to be
No,
negative.
but it's very industrial. It's not that different from what we have.
Right, and I think this adds more pizzazz. This gives you more versatility. It just allows a greater depth of presenting the information.
I think
So
you'll
I like
figure
that.
out the timing. Like, it's gonna, seriously, you gotta get it, and you gotta work with it. Figure out what images you can use, figure out how to use the space. I like that one too. But you'll figure it out. I mean, if it ends up being a 5-minute scroll, just because by the time people come, they're going at the light, they're going all of like nothing, walking speed, that 5 minutes, 10 minutes, whatever it is, you'll figure it out, you and your staff. So I like
That's a detail.
Does one
Exactly.
cost more to operate than the other one?
Negligible. No, because we asked. The
I'm assuming, just-
power requirement, that's the middle one. I don't want the middle. Okay, so 54 cents a day. And 40 cents a day.
So this is 54 cents a day.
All right, now I'm gonna just get to the nitty-gritty in terms of it needed to be maintenanced.
We call them.
Comes with a maintenance, whatever.
Does it come with a warranty?
Yeah, I was
Well,
gonna
I'm
say, that was my next
assuming,
question,
yeah.
too.
I assume it'd be insured, so if somebody threw something through
We have
it, or,
insurance through the town.
okay.
So, are you asking us to vote on this tonight?
I'm showing it to you. You know, I think if you wanna vote on the encumbrance of the money, it sounds like Rick is holding out here. He might want you to meet with a vendor. I mean, I didn't think this was just gonna be so
Well,
challenging,
I
honestly.
had two questions.
Because we've talked about it for a
Yeah,
long
you
time.
know,
What is
I
it?
100% agree with the sign. I 100% agree with the sign. I just don't know which one I agree with.
Then
but
you can, I mean, if
I-
you need to talk to
I
a
got
vendor.
two questions maybe you could actually answer.
Mm.
This red sign, is it solely red, or can the colors be changed on it?
Let me see, hold. Hang on. Okay. Red monochrome electronic
Okay.
message center. The other one is full color RGB electronic message center.
Okay.
So,
And are there, the other question I had with this fancier sign, are there any examples anywhere in town that we could actually see some, or any?
Yes.
It sounds like you said hooks it.
okay,
Hooks it has
I've seen
But
one.
they don't have
So-
this,
Right.
they have a fancier
Oh, they have
that.
the more
Okay.
plain
I
one.
assume.
if you drive down the DW, Campers Inn has a sign
Oh, there's a
With-
flag.
that's waving.
Yeah.
But that's not. But it's an
Oh.
image. It's an
Ah.
image.
I see.
Wood Spring Suite also has an image sign.
Where?
Where's that?
That's the new one. They tore down the old one and built up the new one.
Yeah.
On the same road as the Cinemagic.
Yeah, same road as
Like that one?
Cinemagic.
Where is this?
Do they have a website with
No, it
samples?
used to be there's
I
that
have catalogs
convenience
in the
store in
library. I didn't check the
D'Angelo's
website
Oh, yeah,
because
yeah.
I
When there
stopped
was
at
the
vendor,
hotel.
so
Yeah.
And they
Didn't
tore
go
it
to
all
the
down and they put up I don't know what it is exactly.
I think,
So they have-
let me just, there's a little bit of an issue. I'm concerned about the red because there's red-green color blindness, so then if
Yes.
you just can't see it, or I don't know
And
how
then
you
on
see
the
it, if
red
it's
brick building.
red
Yeah.
on black, that would be, I don't know, that would be an issue, but
I think that's a good point, though. It would blend in more with the
it would blend
background.
in a lot.
The thing that I keep thinking of, and it may not be totally relevant, but we just talked about a granite sign. Now we're talking about a video sign. I
Yeah.
mean, and I'm just concerned that it might be looked upon as, is this really necessary? Now, an electronic sign that you can change is really necessary. That rather than standing there with a pole on a ladder or something. That's safety and all kinds of things. But then it makes me wonder about the granite sign, because to put two signs up in the same general area in the same year, I don't know if that's.
Yeah, see, the electronic sign, I would say, is one of the top 3 needs for the
I
library.
agree.
In my opinion.
So, but in my mind, it affects the granite sign, because I think it'll be a shock.
Well, but remember that they're facing different directions. There are people who probably never go past the library in one direction or the other, just because of their path.
Yeah, but and as trustees, we're discussing where the money's coming from, and this is coming from 2 different places.
Places,
and everything,
right.
But it's also about perception too.
Right.
To her point, it's
Mhm.
because there are
See,
people who
I
oppose
look
the
at it-
library no matter what, and
That's true, but I also look at it that when there's new stuff at the library, like specifically like outside stuff, people like the banners and with this sign or whatever, people are gonna be like, what's going on at the library? Like, so it's like, for people that never knew that was even the library,
That's
it's like,
Right.
Oh, I've never
Well,
been in this building.
And the perception was something that came into my mind. But I think the electronic sign is important. And if the library and the staff would greatly prefer the one that has pictures or is more flexible.
Well, to play devil's advocate for you, we've made do. I mean,
Of course.
that's how we are. How librarians are, how Merrimack Library has traditionally been, is
Yeah.
we're going to make do. And we're going to make do with the space inside, we're going to make do with the parking lot, and, I mean, there's a lot of things that we make do with until we decide, I don't want to make do anymore.
Right.
You know?
And I think it's perfectly reasonable to have a sign that you can program in this day and age so that people don't have to go out when it's freezing cold and climb ladders to change letters. That's just silly. The granite sign is something that is more aesthetic than anything else. But this sign, the electronic sign, is practical in my mind. So
I think they're both practical, honestly, because it's, you know, I didn't
historical.
I didn't know
No,
the
the
building
building-
was there. And, you know, last year we started talking about we were talking about putting an electronic sign on the corner. You know, and that's not aesthetically
No.
And it'd have to be low to
not
the
aesthetic,
ground.
I guess. Well,
There's nowhere to hang it.
no, it would be mounted in the ground.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
Well,
That
sure,
wouldn't look
I
good.
know.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
not gonna look very good.
And the
But-
snowplow
but we're
would
talking
kick
about
snow on
labeling,
it.
you know, labeling the library so people know this is the library when you
Yeah.
turn.
Okay.
I mean, that whole
Yeah.
discussion we just had.
Yeah.
Yep.
So,
Okay.
It's really about letting people know we're there.
Yep. All right. And
But this sign is also about, like, publicity
Yeah.
and
Yes.
town information if need be.
Right.
I mean, if
It's a public service.
voting
It's
Oh,
a
we
information.
could
public
do,
service.
You know, because we could have, you know, over the course of 24 hours, 20-minute segments. I didn't do the math, but that's a lot of information you could put out in a 24-hour period.
Yeah.
Include, you know, right now we just have what's on the reader board. It's 2 events.
Does it get shut off?
Plus our hours.
Does it get shut off?
No, why would we turn it off?
I'm just asking.
I wouldn't turn it off.
Size-wise, is this the same size as what we have up there now? It is.
Mhm. The quotes are for the, I want to make sure I'm reading the right one. 54 by 97 sign, the current sign removed, discarded, and replaced with the sign. The second sign. And we can keep the reader board sign. He doesn't have to discard it. We can keep that. I don't know where we'd keep it, but that can be kept, and you can decide to do something else with it. I wouldn't know, but the company can discard it, or we can, I don't know.
Keep it temporarily.
I didn't have
anyway.
that conversation, because it's just, let me just find out information about what our options are, and then give you
Okay.
the options.
What would,
So
Folks
do I
like-
understand correctly, though, that the money to pay for this has already been set aside?
mhm.
It's not like we're
Yes.
asking
So
for
you have
new
time.
money.
No. We had enough in our budget to go
Right.
ahead and grab this.
Okay.
So you have time to meet with a vendor. You can think about this. You don't, I mean, if you're uncomfortable, you don't have to decide today. So, you know.
My question was just to make sure the money was already there.
actually, the more I
Me.
think about it, and the more that the signs are on opposite sides of the building, if we went for the granite sign as well, I'm getting more and more positive about it.
About the grant.
No, about this sign, the
This sign,
electronic sign.
I'm
Yeah.
supporting, I just don't,
Well, I'm just
What would you
thinking
like-
that
what
let's
would-
get the flexible sign.
What would you like to see happen? Vivek?
What's your, I'm
I
sorry.
don't, I just wonder which one we should get. You know, if there's enough of a merit to get the fancier one, then yeah, but if, you know, if we're really only going to use it to just say, Monday,
But I
the
think-
crocheting program at the library, Tuesday, historic club meets, or, when we're just kind of listing out what's going on in the library versus, that's why I'm trying to picture in my head, and that's why I want to see other signs in town and just kind of see something
Okay. This,
utilizing an image.
this one-
Just so I can get my head around it.
I am concerned more about it blending into the background, because
Yeah.
the red brick is dark. So is the background of this sign.
Yeah.
And I do think that can be harder to see. And I think your point about a lot of people being colorblind to red and
I
green
agree.
The
is
more
true.
the more we're discussing, the more I'm leaning toward the fancier sign.
I mean,
I
the
also-
Hooksett sign is much bigger than this.
Yeah.
On a corner that has nothing else on it, and there's the big logo for the library for Hooksett as part of their sign
Mhm.
frame,
Mm-hmm.
and you're sitting at a light.
Yeah.
So that, even with the text, you have time to maybe take it in.
Right,
Um,
right.
but,
So,
and I don't know, Rick, that I would say the word fancy. It's just more versatile,
Oh, for lack of a better term.
I know, but I don't think that's a great term to
Okay.
use. I mean,
yeah, it's not fancy, it just has more, has color.
Flexible.
The better
Yes.
quality
And you,
sign, I guess.
well, you also can use more of the board.
Yeah.
With this one, you're not using the entire board.
Because I definitely agree, we need the electronic sign, because if you look at the town facilities that have electronic signs, like the police station has one, which, they once in a while have to announce some, like what's going on with the power outages and things like that. The transfer station has one, which they've had the same stuff up on there for months, and they don't really change anything. I don't really see the point of them even having it, but the library has stuff going on all the time.
That's right.
Out of
So-
any facility in town,
right.
we need.
So we would have more
active sign.
versatility with this one.
Yeah, and so I'm 100% behind an electronic sign.
but
Do you want to wait?
I just
before we-
want to. I'm trying to picture this one in my head, and that's
I think it's also going to be a learning process. Even if,
what can we do with it?
exactly, it's like, even if to start, it ends up being white lettering, black background, and just says the whole, just general information, it's going to be, well, let's see if we
You can
do
put a
this,
little
and let's
picture
see-
here or
exactly.
something.
It's going to be
Yeah.
a learning process.
Yeah, it took a while, but I got there.
So
yeah,
What
I'd
would we
like
like-
to
what-
see what you guys can do. I mean,
if-
you've got creative people, which I am not one of them, but you've got creative people there, and
Okay.
I like Jen
We've
Green.
been discussing this for 20 minutes, and I don't think
Yeah.
we're making any progress. So it sounds to me like we're not ready to make a decision tonight.
I'd like
That's
to-
what I'm getting,
yeah,
because
I'd
you
like
have
to
some
absorb it
reservations.
a little bit more.
Okay,
Okay.
but do you want me to make an appointment with the vendor? Because I told him I'm gonna present it to you guys tonight, and I will email him tomorrow with what the next step is.
Well, I think we're all in agreement that we want one of the signs, right?
I want this sign.
I want that sign.
I'm leaning toward the fancier
So if
I'll vote for that sign.
sign. Well, the
It's not fancy.
better quality sign. I'm leaning
More
toward
versatile
more
sign.
versatile sign.
More versatile
yes.
sign.
All it has is color and more
I'm leaning toward
flexibility.
the colorful
That's it.
sign.
And you can change the,
You have-
independently, you can change the
you
sizes
have a
of the
lot more
fonts.
versatility, yeah.
So some can be bigger and some
Do you
can
have
be
any
smaller.
thoughts, Janice?
Well, I think I'm misunderstanding the idea of an encumbrance. If we don't decide on this, are we losing this money that we can't use? Okay. So why not meet with the vendor?
That's why we encumbered it.
Okay.
So we don't lose any money.
Alright.
It has to, money that has not been spent in this fiscal year, is returned to the town. We've never been in that position before, to return money to the town, because we encumber everything.
Okay.
And if it's not gonna be on this sign, then it's gonna be, it's gonna go to materials, or it's going to, I mean, we have to see what's left, that we've been holding off on. I mean, that's how, we're very frugal at the library, we've always been very frugal and very cautious. And then when we have, money to encumber at the end of the year, because it hasn't been spent yet, it's usually because there's been a personnel change. We did have a lot of personnel changes this year, and this is where we are.
Mm-hmm.
So, we're grabbing it, but then if you choose to not have a sign, you still have, this PO is gonna exist until I release it,
Mm-hmm.
but for, accounting and bookkeeping cleanness, you want to release it by the time next July 1st rolls around, or we're in next year's fiscal year. It's not good to keep a PO sitting on the books. It's like, well, decide.
Right,
If you're gonna release it, then you have to re-encumber it for a bunch of other things, or one other thing, or whatever it is. So you have time to think about it because it's there. So do you want to meet with a vendor?
I think you do.
I think you do.
And I would,
Yeah, if they
I'd be
can-
fine with that too.
And I think I would like to drive around and just look at signs in town to see.
Okay.
Well, but she's also said that she has
Right, so
the
we'll table
catalog.
it.
I have a
So
catalog.
if you want to see like what that has and other things on it,
Yeah.
she probably has other pictures.
Sure.
Do you have other
Yeah.
pictures?
Yep, I have it in my office.
Okay.
But you can also meet with the vendor.
So we will put this on hold until next meeting, and
Okay.
can we look to vote on this next meeting?
Yeah. I think.
Okay.
Do you want to vote on the encumbrance, just so it's been discussed? Because
How about
this,
up to that?
Yeah, that's fine. Let's.
well, just because it's it has to be tagged, you have to.
Is it-
So yeah. So
This would be
we're
the
to
final
vote on the
cost?
encumbrance
There
up
wouldn't
to
be any
the.
additional costs on this?
Joanne always likes to put a padding just in case there's a problem, but
25.
I usually encumber for the penny. That's the
That's the
quote.
number. Okay, so let's.
Like, would there be taxes added to this or something like that?
No, we're in New Hampshire.
That's right. Okay. So we would vote to use this money, the encumbered money, for the sign, is that what you're asking?
And you can always change your mind,
Okay.
that's a whole separate vote down
Yeah.
the road.
So,
20, what is it?
So we motion-
24?
Let me,
Colorful sign. I really am.
What did you say?
it was
I'm leaning more toward the
25,
colorful
that was,
sign.
We'll give you
that's
time
what it
to
says on the
mush it
PO is
over.
25, so go for.
25?
Yes,
I'm sorry.
Okay,
no extra dollars.
okay.
So we're
Shipping
motioning
costs?
to set aside
Moving, yes.
25,100.
Encumbered.
Are you,
Sorry.
Are you making the motion?
Yes,
I'll second.
to
What
set
was-
aside the 25,152 for the potential purchase of the electronic sign.
Okay, so do you guys want to think about it and let me know if you want to
I'm
set up a
sorry?
meeting?
Oh, I'm sorry, all in favor? Did we have a second?
Yeah.
I seconded.
She did.
Okay.
And let me know
I'm sorry?
if you want to have a meeting with the vendor.
I-
Okay,
Sure.
I
Who
don't
needs
need
to, who would love to show up at a meeting to a vendor? Just raise your hand.
I would
Okay,
meet with the vendor.
that's a quorum. So, any available dates and times, just email me. You can copy each other, whatever.
You.
And then I'll coordinate something and I'll post it because I will have a quorum.
yeah,
Okay.
I mean, I'll probably go.
Well, let us all know, and if
Yeah.
we
You know,
all
if you
decide
want
to
to
come.
just show up, I
Yeah.
mean, then it'll be posted, it'll be fine.
Yeah,
Yeah,
okay.
just let us.
Okay, very good.
And I'll have the catalogs are also available if you want to.
Good.
Okay.
If
Okay.
the vendor has examples of, well, this sign, we've seen examples of this. This is what's in front of the police station and everything. If they have any examples we
Just
can
like
drive by and see.
No, when I talked to,
But you said the camper's in, is that,
those were
well, that's
those were the two examples that I was told by,
of this actual same sign that we're looking at?
of this style of sign
Okay.
with images.
Yeah, I've seen that
So
flag.
Campers Inn and Wood
I've seen
Spring.
the flag too.
I remember seeing it. But I don't remember seeing another image. But maybe that's my
No, that's
20-minute
the only
thought.
one I've ever seen too.
Yeah.
Is the flag.
Maybe I'll just drive more frequently. I don't know.
And would it be fair to assume that the vendor probably can only meet during the day?
I haven't asked.
Okay.
Send me available dates and times,
Alright.
and then I'll find out.
Okay. Do we have any other business to bring up at this point?
No.
No?
No.
No? Okay. Our calendar, our next meeting is July 17th, 7 PM here, in Memorial Room at Town Hall. The Friends of the Merrimack Public Library, the public is welcome to attend learn how you can support the library on June 25th at 7 p.m. at the library. And the Development Fund Committee will be meeting June 26th at 4:45 in the lower room. Yes, anything else? Did you want to add? You look like you wanted to say something. No, I'm
No,
sorry.
I'm just going over the calendar.
And then we have the 4th of July parade. So, and check the library website for any further information about that.
Yeah, that's good.
Comments from the press, public, or other board members? No? I move that we adjourn
I second.
at 9:28.
All in favor?
All in favor?
Forget the vote.